Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents Deliver Us from Evil by Sevastian Winters. Excerpts from the Diary of Miss Eleanor Graves.
Day 1. I kneel before you with trembling bones. I cannot take another sunrise beside this man. His voice carries like a whip across my skin, though he doesn't even speak to me in front of others. That's his way, Lord. He waits until we are alone. He looks at me with that smile that everyone else calls polite, but I see the malice inside it. Release me. Break this chain. I am his wife in the eyes of the law, but I never said yes to the torment, Lord. I remember standing at that altar, or perhaps it was a courthouse. My mind is so fogged, but I remember my knees shaking and my lips trying to form the word no. If you love me, tear this covenant apart. Send me a sign. Any sign at all.
Day 4. You are faithful, Lord. Today you answered me. On my way to the bus, I passed him walking with a woman. She clung to his arm like a vine, laughing as though she belonged there, but she does not. I am the one bound to him, Lord, not her. You showed me this for a reason. He looked straight through me as though I were air. I should be grateful. Most women long for an invisible cloak, and you granted me one. He pretends he does not know me, pretends he has never touched me, but I know the truth. We are bound. This is the test, isn't it? I must keep praying, keep fasting, keep showing you that my devotion is stronger than her giggles or her perfume. My hunger is sharp, but it pleases you, I hope.
Day 8. Lord, today my body bore the proof of his cruelty again. A bruise has appeared across my thigh, though I cannot recall the exact blow. Perhaps in the night, when he climbed into my bed unseen by others. Perhaps in the hallway when no one was looking. The bruise is shaped like a hand, dark at the edges, and I press it to remind myself this is why I cannot stop praying. I am weaker than I was a week ago. My coworkers ask me why I am so pale, why I do not eat, but I smile and tell them, you are guiding me through a fast. If they could see the truth, they would understand, but they live in a different world where marriage licenses are only paper and not chains of iron. Please, Lord, tear this marriage apart before it tears me to pieces.
Day 12. Lord, my strength wanes, but my resolve grows teeth. I demanded a sign from you tonight. I sat at the edge of my bed and told you, if you want me free, let the clock strike at midnight. And it did, Lord, it did. The chime rattled the glass in the window, and I knew you had answered. I went to his street again. He was home. The lights in his windows glowed like watchful eyes, and I stood beneath them, whispering curses he once whispered to me. A car passed, and I pressed myself into the hedge, but he never looked out. He is clever in his pretending. Still, I saw her shadow move across the curtain, and my blood boiled. She is the thief of my covenant. I will not let her steal what was bound before you.
Day 18. Lord, today the pastor asked if I was all right. His face pinched, as though he had already chosen not to believe me. I told him my husband controls everything, that he forces me to live in the shadows, to keep our marriage secret, so no one will help me escape. The pastor said my words were troubling. Troubling? Does he not see that this is proof of my suffering? When I raised my voice, he lowered his, and that only enraged me further. He suggested rest. He said perhaps I should speak to a doctor. But Lord, I know what he meant. He thinks I am touched, that I imagine things. But you and I know the truth. I left the church and went straight to the courthouse. I asked for the papers. They told me they could find no record, but I would not let them confuse me.
Satan works in forged ledgers and vanished signatures. I will not be deceived.
Day 23. Lord, forgive me, for tonight I went too far. I followed him into the grocery store. He held her hand in the produce aisle, and my vision swam. I told myself it was your will, that you were leading me there to confront him. But when I called his name, he turned with eyes blank as winter sky. "I'm sorry," he said, polite as ever, as though I were a stranger who'd brushed his sleeve. He denied me, Lord, right there under the humming fluorescent lights. I trembled. My mouth formed words I cannot recall. Something about freedom, about papers he must sign. But his face only hardened. Security came. Their hands on my arms were gentle, but I knew whose command they served. His. They escorted me out, and she watched, smirking, her lips pressed close to his ear. I walked home barefoot, Lord, my shoes forgotten somewhere in the struggle. The pavement tore at my soles, but the pain is holy. If this is what I must suffer before you tear the chain, I accept it gladly.
Day 27. Lord, the world turned against me today. I carried the papers I had prepared, my own writing, my own seal of freedom, and I found him outside his office. I called his name, loud enough for all to hear. He turned, confused, but I thrust the papers into his hands and declared before heaven and earth that I was divorcing him. The crowd gathered. Faces laughed. Some gasped, but no one believed. He pushed the papers back at me, said he didn't know me, called me ma'am, like I was no more than a passerby. That word sliced deeper than any bruise. Ma'am! I screamed. I know I did. Words tumbled out, accusations, prayers, commands in your holy name. And then arms pulled me back, uniforms closing in, hands like iron clamps around mine. My papers scattered across the pavement, trampled under strangers' shoes. He watched, Lord. He stood there, silent, while they dragged me away.
Day 30. Lord, the walls here are white and humming. They say it is for rest, for evaluation. But I know it is his doing. He sent them to silence me, to make me seem small, confused, broken. The bed is narrow, the food tasteless. I whisper my prayers into the thin blanket at night so the others cannot hear. Still, they look at me with their sideways eyes, as though they know something, as though they serve him too. A doctor came. She asked questions about dates, about wedding vows, about signatures. I told her I do not need paper to prove the truth, only you. She wrote things down while nodding softly, like one humors a child. Lord, I will not fail you now. If this is my desert, I will walk it. If this is my tomb, you will roll away the stone. Day 31. Lord, you have delivered me. This morning the door opened and I was told I could leave. They spoke of treatment, of follow-ups, of guardianship, but I knew it was your hand lifting the bolt. I walked out into the bright air, head high. I am free. He no longer binds me. You have broken the chain. I tear these final words from my chest and offer them to you as proof. I am no longer his wife. I am yours alone.
News blurb on page C13 of the Jefferson County News-Gazette. A Jefferson County woman was found dead Wednesday at the Jefferson County Psychiatric Care Institute after an apparent suicide. The subject, Eleanor Graves, was found unresponsive in her room at 06:42 a.m. Efforts to resuscitate were unsuccessful. Eleanor Graves was said to suffer from acute schizophrenia and delusional disorder. She had no living relatives.
Attached note to patient intake file for Eleanor Graves. Patient, age 67, suffers from acute schizophrenia and delusional disorder. Claims she is the wife of and victim of domestic violence from a Mr. Daniel Lewis, age 26, of Danville Township. No record of marriage found under subject's name or the name of Mr. Daniel Lewis. Mr. Lewis denies any knowledge of the patient and has no history of violence or criminal record of any sort.